Dual unit conversions. Example 1. A car is going 110 feet per second. Convert 110 feet per second to miles per hour. So for this problem, we are going from feet per second, and we want to get to miles per hour. So that means we're going to have to do two different kind of conversions. We're going to have to do feet, which is a measurement of distance, and also time, which is seconds, as we need to get to hours. So let's first look at our distance ones. So we have feet and we have miles. And we know we have 5,280 feet per 1 mile. So we can either use the conversion of 5,280 feet over 1 mile or 1 mile over 5,280 feet. So this is for our distance. And then let's look at time. We have seconds and we have hours. So there isn't a direct one from one to the other. So we're going to first have to go from seconds to minutes to hours. So how we can do that is we have either 60 seconds over 1 minute or 1 minute over 60 seconds. And then we also have to go from minutes to hours. So we have 60 minutes to 1 hour or 1 hour over 60 minutes. So these are conversion factors that we're going to need to solve this problem. So we have 110 feet per second. So the first thing we can do is multiply it by our distance to get it to miles. So we need to get rid of this feet. So we're going to use this conversion factor here. So we have 1 mile over 5,280 feet. This gets rid of our feet, and we're left with miles, which is exactly what we want. Now we need to deal with the seconds. So we're going to need to multiply. So we get rid of seconds on the bottom. So we need seconds on the top. So this is what we're going to use. So we get 60 seconds over 1 minute. This gets rid of these here, and we're left with minutes. So we need to multiply again to get hours. We need to get rid of this, so we need the minutes on the top. So we get 60 minutes over 1 hour. This gets rid of this here, and then we're left with hours on the bottom, which is exactly what we want. So the next thing we need to do is multiply all these numbers on the top, and then we'll multiply all the numbers on the bottom. So we are left with 110 times 1 times 60 times 60, all over 5,280 times 1 times 1, and this is in miles per hour. So let's get our calculators out. So we have 110 times 1 times 60 times 60. And we're left with 396,000. All over 5,280 times 1 is just 5,280. So let's go ahead and divide this top number by 5,280. And we're left with 75 miles per hour. And this would be our solution to this problem. So now let's look at another example. Convert 2,500 feet per minute to centimeters per second. So we have 2,500 feet per minute, and we need to get it to centimeters per second. Now we need to go from feet to inches to then centimeters. So how we handle our distance is we're going to go from feet 2 inches to centimeters, as that's how we get 2 centimeters. Now for time, we just need to go from minutes to seconds. So for our distance, we know from feet to inches, we need to look at this conversion factor. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches, or 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. We'll have to use one of these. And then we need to look at inches and centimeters. So 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters, or 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. Then we know we have 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, or 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. So now we've set up our conversions of what we could be using, and so we're going to now start to use them. So we have feet per minute. So our first step is to get rid of feet. So we want feet on the bottom. So we're going to use this 12 inches and 1 foot. So we get 12 inches over 1 foot. This crosses out the feet. Next, we need to multiply to get to centimeters. We need to get rid of this inches on the top. So we have inches on the bottom here, so that will do the trick. So we'll use this one. This gets rid of the inches, and then we're left with centimeters on the top, which is exactly what we want, as it's centimeters per second. Now let's go to our time, because we've dealt with distance. So we know 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. We used this one because we need to get rid of minutes. So it needs to be on the top. So we can go ahead and rewrite this as 2,500 times 12 times 2.54 times 1, which is all over 60, as 1 times 1. And this is centimeters per second. So let's get our calculators out. So we have $76,200 on the top, and then 1 times 1 times 60 is just 60. So we'll just divide by 60, and we get 1,270. And this is centimeters per second. So let's do one final example. Convert the answer found in example 2 to kilometers per hour. So from our last example, we have 1,270 centimeters per second. Now we need to convert it to kilometers per hour. So let's first look at distance. So to go from centimeters to kilometers, we're going to have to first go to meters, and then we'll go to kilometers. So the conversions we can use is then centimeters to meters. That conversion is 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter, or 1 meter over 100 centimeters. Next, we need to go from meters to kilometers. So we have 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer, or 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. So these are conversions we will use for distance, and then for time we're going to use our 60 seconds over 1 minute, or 1 minute to every 60 seconds. And then we need to go from minutes to hours, so we have 60 minutes per 1 hour, or we're going to use 1 hour over 60 minutes. So now that we kind of have all this, let's start writing this all out. So we have 1,270 centimeters per second, and we're going to need to multiply, and we need to get rid of the centimeters. So we're going to go ahead and use this one. So we got 1 meter over 100 centimeters. Centimeters cross out. Now let's get rid of meters. So we're going to go ahead and use this one. So we have 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. This gets rid of meters, and then we're left with kilometers, which is what we want. Then we need to go with time. So we have seconds. So we need to get rid of seconds, so we need to use seconds that's on the top to get to minutes. So we have 60 seconds over 1 minute. This gets rid of these here. And then the next thing will be to get rid of minutes, so we do this one. So we're left with 60 minutes on top and 1 hour on the bottom, and we get rid of minutes, and we're left with hours, which is exactly what we want. So now we need to multiply everything out on the top. So we have 1,270 times 1 times 60 times 60. Then on the bottom we have 100 times 1,000 times 1 times 1. Let's get our calculators out. So on the top we have 1,270 times 1 times 60 times 60. And we're left with 4,572,000. And then on the bottom, we have 100 times 1,000. So we get 100,000. So now let's go ahead and divide. So we have we get 45.72. And this is in kilometers per hour, as we got that from here. So this is our final solution.